Hey everybody, I tried to do a live and I listened to it and it was so windy towards the end of my live. Guys couldn't hear anything, so what I'm gonna do is do a little bit of it out here and then I'm gonna go sit in my car because I want you guys to hear what I have to say today. If you're new to my lives, my name is Lori and I am an advocate for health and wellness, and so many people think that's just working out, eating healthy, but there's so much more than just that. Anyway, I am at one of my favorite places, so I hope you guys can hear me. I'm gonna turn it around. I've came out here before. This is a beautiful wildlife refuge, not far from where I live in Tallahassee. Hopefully y'all can hear me. The wind's picking up a little bit. White House. Anyway, it's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful out here, and I'm waiting for a thunderstorm to roll in because you guys know I love thunderstorms. So I am going to go back in the car and I'm going to share a word with you guys today, just because the wind keeps picking up, and I just did a video and you couldn't hear me through half of it, so I'm going to do it in the car. I was going to show you this area over here real quick. It's just beautiful, and they even have like a viewing thing over there, and it's kind of the same over behind that viewing area that it is right here. So if you're ever in Tallahassee, you have to come visit St. Mark's Lighthouse. It's really a cool place. People come out here and paddleboard and fish and scallop and kayak and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, sorry, this isn't really very professional, but hey, I believe in being authentic and real, and this is just how I roll. Anyway, whew, that wind blowing my hair all over the place. So anyway, I just wanted to pop on here and just share a little bit about my thoughts for today and why I'm at St. Mark's, and try to share my heart with you as briefly as I can, because sometimes I can really chase some rabbits. It's just because I'm a very detail-oriented person, so I think every aspect of what I want to talk about is important. So, but what I wanted to talk to you about today is the importance of taking care of your emotional health. When you think of wellness, what do you think of? I used to think of, oh, if I'm working out and I'm eating healthy, then I'm well. But I've learned over the last couple years that wellness encompasses everything that we are, every part of who we are. And so that's why I always tell people when I pop on, if you're new to my lives or my videos, my name is Lori and I'm an advocate for health and wellness, because I believe that it encompasses our whole being. So mind, body, spirit. So our emotions, our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health. And you know, we're spiritual beings. And for me, my spirituality, I find in a true and living God and Jesus. That's where I find my spirituality. And so it's important that we're balanced and we take care of all those areas of our life. And I thought I had been doing a really, really good job of that. And, you know, guys, I'm not perfect. I struggle just like everybody else. I'm human like everybody else. And I know I share a lot of encouraging and inspirational stuff, but, you know, I have my own struggles just like you guys do. And so I wanted to share that with you. I wanted you to know that there's days that are hard for me too. So I kind of just wanted to share what kind of led me to what I wanted to talk to you about today. In that, last year I had so many losses. After 3.5 years of walking away from a dangerous and toxic marriage, my divorce was final in February. And even though I knew that that was what was best, because I needed to be safe, and I wasn't safe in that marriage. I wasn't physically safe. I wasn't mentally safe, emotionally safe, or spiritually safe. I wasn't. And it was sad for me that I had to close that chapter and move on. And that was really hard for me. And then in March, so not long after that, I lost my dad. And in April, after we lost my dad in March, I had already planned to do this retreat and was going to back out. And before I went on the retreat, there was just this little small voice like inside of me that said, you need to move to Tallahassee and serve your mom. And I'm like, no way. No way. I love my life. I was finally, experiencing some healing. I had a great support system. I was part of a women's group that I hosted in my home on Wednesdays. I loved my job. I loved getting up and going to work every day. I loved the people that I worked with. And so I was comfortable. I didn't want to leave that comfort. And so I kind of like tried to ignore that, and went on my retreat. And on my retreat, that still small voice wouldn't leave me alone. And it's like, you need to go and serve your mom. And I'm like, okay. But then I started having this conversation because I talked to my God. And I said, that that means I have to quit my job and uproot my whole life and move to Tallahassee. And God, I don't have a job, right? So I'm having this conversation with him, and he didn't change his mind. He still was like, nope, I want you to serve your mom. And so that was like such a big decision for me. I don't guess it was really a decision. It was more an act of obedience to what I was being called to do, even though I didn't want to do it. I accepted that this is what I was being called to do. And so I put in my notice, and knowing I didn't have a job. And not long after that, the thought came to my mind that I supervised in like 5 other therapy clinics from one office. So like I had a home base. I wonder if I could do that from home. And so then my really good friend Terry came to work like maybe the next day and was like, hey, my parents were wondering, can't you just do this stuff from home? And I'm like, okay, now I know what I need to do. And so sorry, I'm going to turn the air conditioner on because it is warm. It is Florida. And so I set up an email proposal to my higher up boss and presented it to them. And anyway, I don't know, less than a week later, I had a meeting about some other things they wanted to go over, about, what was going to happen with my position and things like that. And so kind of towards the end, she's like, oh, and by the way, John approved you to work from home. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm what that decision that I didn't make, but that I surrendered to was the right thing. That's what I was supposed to do. And so April, I said goodbye to my coworkers. I said goodbye to my little condo that I loved and my life, and packed up a U-Haul with the help of my great friends Jilene and Mr. Beal, and I put all my stuff in storage and moved in with my mom. And so over the last year, I learned just the other day that I never grieved really for any of those things. That everything happened so fast. February, divorce. March, my dad passes away. April, we have his celebration of life, and I leave my job in Orlando and move in with my mom. So there was a lot of loss, and I did not give myself permission to really grieve those losses. And because I felt like I needed to be strong. I needed to be strong for my mom. And I didn't realize how much stuff that I had like pushed down and stuffed down and just didn't take care of until I went and had that time at the river and the lake with my dad on Sunday. And that was a really special moment, just being able to be there with him. And I felt kind of selfish taking that time to myself, but it was really good. It was what I think it was what I really needed to help me realize that I need to give myself permission to feel. I need to give myself permission to grieve, not only the loss of my dad, but the loss of a marriage, the loss of working on site and having that daily interaction with my coworkers and the patients, and that I just had not given myself permission to feel any of that. And so I realized that even though I started working out again, I was taking care of myself physically. I'm eating healthier, so I'm taking care of my body. And, you know, kind of taking care of myself a little bit spiritually, you know, and trying to really stay in tune with my spirit and that part of my life. And but I had not been taking care of my emotional health and my mental health, really. And so it just all kind of hit me at one time. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. You know, that it is important to give yourself permission to feel sadness if you've had a loss or a hurt, or it's important, because I feel like we're spiritual beings, and that's part of who we are our emotions. That was hard to say. Anyway, but so many times we don't allow ourselves to feel because we're afraid of we're afraid to feel that hurt or that pain or that anger. We're afraid of those things, and I'm learning to feel, to let go, and to give myself permission to do that, because I think that in doing that, it creates a release that is important. And my really good friend, Miss Jolene, who I love so much and miss, I had a conversation with her the other day, and she said, you know, Lori, all these tears you're crying now, that God's just collecting them in a little bottle. And I'm like, that's so cool. Anyway, so, you know, give yourself permission to grieve if you've had a loss. It's okay. It's okay to feel that sadness. It's okay, because you're taking care of that emotional part of yourself. And for me, because I live with my mom, I feel like I can't do it at home. So that's why I like to come out to St. Mark's. This is my refuge. It is a wildlife refuge, but it's become a refuge for me, because I can come out here and it's quiet, and it's at my favorite place. It's not the beach, but it's still the water. And I'm able to clear my head, and I'm able to process things, and I'm able to cry if I want to, and not be afraid of her hearing me. Not that I should be afraid of her hearing me, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I actually have talked longer than I wanted to, but I told you guys, I always want to go so in depth with everything, because I think it's important. I don't want to leave anything out. So my word to you today is give yourself permission to feel loss, to feel sadness, and to also have that person that you can call or text and say, you know what, I'm having a pretty crappy day. I don't like that word, but you know, it is what it is, right? And say, you know, I'm just not really feeling it today. And that's okay, being vulnerable. Because remember what I said, Brene Brown, who I love, she says, when we're vulnerable, we take a risk, but it's in that risk that we make that connection. So I hope I've made a connection with somebody today, and I've hope that I've been able to give you some hope and light at the end of the tunnel, and know that I'm always here. You can always reach out to me no matter what, and if you just need somebody to listen or to talk to. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here and enjoy the rest of my time at St. Mark's. Like I said, I hope a thunderstorm rolls in, because you guys know that's one of my favorites too. Anyway, have a blessed afternoon.